Everyone comes to the negotiating table with some form of power. And it's therefore important that you can recognize and understand not only the power that you can wield, but also the power that other people are wielding around the room. So in this video, we're going to look at power at the negotiating table. We're going to divide our analysis into two broad forms of power: the power that is granted to people and the power that they have from within themselves. Let's start out with granted power. And the obvious starting point when we're talking about granted power is what is sometimes known as legitimate or hierarchical power, the power that we have from our position in the organization, our place in the hierarchy. Put simply, the biggest boss has the most power and therefore the most authority in a negotiation. The authority that you have to move towards or even to close a deal is a form of granted power, and it's important for us at the outset to understand the authority that the people we're negotiating with have. Beyond this authority to make decisions, the next form of granted power is resource power. The ability to access and deploy resources gives you the power to make deals, to make bargains, to trade. And these bargaining chips can be anything from money to materials to assets and equipment to people. Resource power is your ability to access those resources and therefore trade with them in the negotiation to secure alternative resources for yourself. Both legitimate power and resource power can be abused, and when they are, they take one of two forms: either coercive power, which is the power to force, to compel other people to do things, or reward power, the power to reward people for behaviours or trades that we like. You can think of coercive power as being like a protection racket. If you don't do this, I will do that. And you can think of reward power as being a little like bribery. In another video, we'll look at how you deal with bad behaviour at the negotiating table, but note that it often comes from abuses of power. The other forms of power come from within ourselves, and therefore they are far more fundamental and far more useful forms of power. The only thing is they don't always give us the authority to make a decision, to make a commitment. But sometimes they do give us the intellectual authority to recommend a solution, a resolution, or a deal. And that's particularly the case with our first form of power, which is knowledge or information power. And they do say that knowledge is power. If you know something that the other party doesn't know, that gives you an advantage in a negotiation. It gives you leverage. However, knowledge or information is useless to you unless you know how to use it. And that's where expert power comes in. Expert power is the ability to use knowledge effectively. Together, expert power and knowledge power give you the intellectual authority to negotiate on behalf of your organisation. Next, there's network power or connection power. It's not what you know, it's who you know. A negotiator who can call upon the support of other people has a measure of power that another negotiator who doesn't have those supporters cannot access. Next is personality or charisma power, the ability to influence because of your personality, because of the way you come across. We can contrast this with the ability to persuade either through intellectual authority or credibility, or legitimate or hierarchical authority, which allows us to compel if we need to. And clearly, there is a strong relationship between this kind of personality power and the connection power, because it's through personality power that we build connections and we give ourselves access to other people and their support. Finally, there's personal power, the power that resides within you. And that's about your self-confidence, your self-assurance, and your self-control. Your ability to master yourself and to know who you are and to know what your capabilities are. And we project our personal power through our calm and our patience and our general demeanour. We project it through our considered responses to the things that happen around us and the measured pace with which we conduct our negotiation. And importantly, self-control allows us to put across what psychologists would call low affect, what the rest of us would refer to as a restrained response that is not over-emotional. But this is not about being coldly logical. It's about taking your time and not overreacting to the things that happen around you. The last thing to think about when we're considering power are the trappings of power, the things that portray how powerful you are. And a lot of this is about the way you appear, the clothes you choose, your posture, the accessories you carry, the way you speak. If you want to portray more power, then slow down and do not shout. People who need to shout are those who are uncertain and lack confidence in their authority. For more on this, you might like to look up our whole course on personal impact, and in particular, the video we made on gravitas. Of course, the other important element of the trappings of power is how the people around you treat you. If you go into a negotiation with colleagues, are they acting respectfully towards you? Are they asking your opinion? Are they offering their opinion in a way that is appropriate? Going into meetings with a supporter or with supporters signals that you have power, you have authority. And even if they are there just for show, they can be very worthwhile. So there are a lot of types of power that we bring to the meeting table. Being able to master your own sources of power and being able to read the other person's sources of power is just another useful skill in the art and craft of negotiation. Please do give us a thumbs up if you like this video. There's loads more great management courses content to come, so please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of it. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.